Yan si Sir Leslie Mirandilla, no? Guys, yan. Okay. So, before we start our formal discussion with our victory, no? We start with a little prayer. Sir Leslie, can you lead the prayer po? Sige. Sige, sige, sige. Amen. Okay. Sir Mirandilla, can you introduce yourself po to the learners of Santa Crista Integrated School? Grade 11 po sila. Okay. So, thank you again, no, guys. Si Sir Les ang ating mga kasama throughout the SEM, no? As I said a while ago, if you have queries to in our subject, no, statistics and probability, you can always PM us, okay? So, let's now start, no, to our week 3. But before that, let's review first, no? Kasi natenga ang ating week 3. We already discussed in our week 1 and 2 about mean, diba? Mean and variance of random variable. So, can anyone tell me what is mean? O, on your own understanding, what is mean? Anyone? Kahit Tagalog yan, basta't yung base yan sa inyong pagkakaintindi kung ano nga ba ang mean. Magtatawag ba ako? Okay. Miss Ronquillo, are you there? Okay. So based on your understanding or review lang tayo, recap lang tayo. What is mean? Oh. Sige lang. Sige. Wag ka. Okay lang yan. Sige. Ano yung sinasabi mo? Yung summation ng? Yun yung pag-solve ng mean, if ang binigay sa atin is on frequency. 'Di ba? Kasi may chances na ang binibigay sa atin is naka-probability na, 'di ba? Yung P of X, yun yung mga P of Y, P, or any random variable, no? So, your answer is correct too, no? But the importance of mean is that yun yung average, parang gitnang values ng lahat ng random variables, tama ba? Kung natatandaan pa ang ating discussion about mean. Wait lang. Kumahanap yung pen. Isa nga. Ayan. So, again, no? Ang mean, siya yung values na kung saan if we do the experiment repeatedly, yung outcome natin is malalapit siya doon sa value ng mean. Okay? So, pwede din tayo, kung given man ang frequency, sabi ko nga, minumultiply natin yung frequency doon sa random variable na x. Let's say, for example, x ang ating random variable. But if ang given sa atin is random variable and probability ng random variable, we will just use the summation of the probability of the random variable x. Okay? So the next topic that we tackled last week is the standard deviation. Diba? We cannot solve standard deviation if we do not solve mean first, diba? They're intercorrelated. We have to solve for mean because, di ba meron tayong part ng column doon na kung saan we have to subtract the random variable x to the mean. And you have to square it and you have to multiply that to the probability of your random variable. Diba? And the summation of this is what we call the variance. Diba? Ang variance ay ang kung gaano ka-spread out ang ating mga values given sa ating random variable. Okay? And para makuha ang standard deviation, you have to square root the variance na na-compute nyo doon sa tabular natin, di ba? Okay. So, meron tayong dalawang interpretation ng standard deviation. You have the high standard deviation and the low standard deviation. When we have computed for the high standard deviation, ibig sabihin, yung mga values mo ay medyo spread out siya sa ating mean. While, pag mababa naman ang ating standard deviation, ang mga values natin, greater the chance na malapit sila sa mean. Okay? So, hindi pala nakikita ang aking PowerPoint presentation. Ayan. So, nag-review lang tayo ha, kasi ito yung ating week 1 and 2, yung mean and standard deviation. Okay? So, do you have any questions so far with this sa ating topic? Okay. So, naintindihan ba? Hindi ba kayo nalito doon sa ating week 1 and 2? Doon sa pag-solve? Ano lang ha, special thanks lang to Miss Ronquillo. Yung doon sa activity 3 natin sa week 2, there is typographical error there, 'di ba sabi ko? And yung pag-compute din yan ng kanyang YP of Y is mali din, no? So try to look at this and isi-send ko na lang sa GC natin kung ano man ang tamang values doon sa complete the table na activity, no? So, let's proceed. Ang ating pinaka-main topic ngayon is solving problems involving mean and standard deviation. So, kung sa ating week 2 is nag-fill in lang tayo ng mga values and we co-compute lang natin ang ating standard deviation and variance, dito sa week 3 natin, kailangan nating intindihin ang problem. Then, we have to solve what is required. Okay? So, let's say for example, we have this example 1. The following data show the probability distribution of the number of computers sold in a mall during the past several months. So, you have your random variable x and the probability of your random variable x. Okay? So, minsan tinatanong na dito sa ating mga susunod na week, yung mga probability kung ilan ba ang mabebentang computer sa ganito, ilan ba ang yung mga may criteria na tayong susundan. Like this, for example, our first question, what is the probability that on a given day, eto lang, basing dito sa table natin, fewer than 3 computers will be sold? Fewer. Okay? So, in a Filipino term, how do you interpret the question? Anyone? Oh, Malapit na tayo mag face to face. Bawal na hiya-hiya. Sige, continue ko na ha. Fewer than 3 computers will be sold. Ibig sabihin, ilan ba or mas mababa sa tatlong, wait lang, mas konti po sa 3 ang computers na mabenta. Very good. Miss Gomez, na very good. Mas konti sa tatlong computers ang mabebenta sa isang day. So, how do we interpret that mathematically? Diba? Yung probability daw na mabebenta, mas mababa sa tatlong computer mabebenta is random variable x mo is less than to 3. Okay? So, ano nga ba ang mga values less than to 3? You have 2, 1, and 0. Tama ba? You have your 2, 1, and 0. Less than to 3. Tama? Okay. Now, if you're going to compute the probability of that, you just have to substitute the values of the probability of your random variable x. You have your probability of 2 plus probability of 1 plus probability of 0. So, substitute lang. Ano ang probability ng dalawa ang mabebenta? Based sa table. You have 0.4 plus yung 0.1 natin, 0.15 plus ang probability na wala daw is 0.10. Okay? So, add lang lahat yan. Ang makukuha natin is 0.65 or 65%. So, parang 40% plus 15% plus 10%. So, kung interpret natin to, yung nakuha natin values dito, so 65% lang daw on a given o dun sa araw na yon na mas mababa sa tatlong computer ang mabebenta. Okay? So, sabi ko nga sa inyo, nung nag-start tayo ng stat, mas madali ang stat kasi i-analyze mo siya, add, divide, multiply lang ang gagamitin. Compared nung nasa GenMath tayo, di ba? Okay. So, next question naman. At most, 4 computers will be sold. At most. How do you interpret the phrase at most? Eto. You can type on our chat box or you can raise your hand. Okay. Okay. Mr. Manyara, very good. Okay. That is, parang sinasabi niya, ginawa lang yung values na binigay ni Mr. Manyalak eh. Pag sinabi kasi natin at most, values less than or equal to the value given. So in this case, you have at most. At most 4 computers will be sold. Ibig sabihin, hanapin natin ang probability ng random variable x, which is less than or equal to 4. So, ano-ano ang mga values na less than or equal to 4? Ito yung mga values na binigay ni Mr. Manyalak. You have your 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So, let's write lang, no? Probability of 0, probability of 1, probability of 2, plus probability of 3, plus probability of 4. So, substituting the values based on our table, you have 0.10 plus 0.15 plus 0.40 plus 0.20 plus 0.1. Then add all together, we can have 0.95 or this is 95%. Okay? So interpreting that, no, at most 4 computers will be sold, ang probability nung shop nun is 95%. Okay? Which is correct kasi 'di ba isang property ng probability distribution table is that ang summation ng mga probability mo is dapat equal to 1. Hindi siya dapat mag-exceed sa 1. Okay? You have your 0.95 plus 0.05 magiging 1.00 yan. Okay? So, do you have any question at most? Yung pag narinig nyo at most, ang lagi yung tatandaan dyan, less than or equal. Okay? So, x is less than or equal to the number or to the yung hinahanap na value. Okay? So, yeah. So, ang counterpart naman ng at most is hindi nasaling at least. Meron pang at least to. Lagay ko na lang dito, no? At least two computers, okay, will be sold. Ito yung isang question pa dun sa example 1. So, at least, okay, kung interpret natin siya in a layman's term, halimbawa parang you are expecting five people na dumating sa party mo. Parang sinasabi mo, at least may dalawang pumunta, at least may tatlong pumunta, di ba? So, parang yung inahanap mo doon sa value na yon is greater than or equal to. Okay? So, yung opposite nung at least, yung at most. Okay? Lang yung nagpapa-admit. Okay? So, kung may sinabing at least two computers will be sold, ang mathematical equation yan is that the probability of your x that is greater than or equal to 2. So, ano ba ang mga values ng x greater than or equal to 2? You have your 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So, lagay lang natin yan. Probability of 2 plus probability of 3 plus probability of 4 plus probability of 5. So, substituting the values, you have 0.40 plus 0.20 plus 0.10 plus 0.05, no? Ang sum neto is yung probability, no? At least two computers will be sold. We have, anong sum yan? 75% or 0.75. Okay? So, pag may nakita at most, may nakita at least, yun na yung gagawin nyo agad. Okay? Any question with at most and at least? Okay. So, yung next question, exactly 3. Eh di, probability ng x equal to 3. Ano ba ang probability ng x equal to 3 dun sa table natin? Eh di, 0.20 or this is 20%. Okay, so parang 20% lang ang chance nung shop na makabenta siya ng exactly 3 computer in a day. Okay? Ganun siya i-interpret. Okay. So, do you have any question muna for example 1? Wala. Okay, thank you. So, next question dun sa example 1 natin is that we have to find the mean of the probability distribution. So, ito na yung sinasabi kong difference kanina. If frequency ang binigay compared to probability probability ng random variable. Okay? So, para makuha ang mean of the probability distribution, you have to multiply your random variable x to your probability of your random variable x. So, multiply lang yan. So, multiply nyo isa-isa, may makakuha kayong values dyan. So, 0 multiplied by 0.10, that is 0. Diba? 1 multiplied by 0.15, this is 0.15. 2 multiplied by 0.4, this is 0.80. 3 multiplied by 0.20, this is 0.60. 4 multiplied by 0.10, this is 0.40. And 5 multiplied by 0.05, this is 0.125. Tama ba? Tama ba? 0.125 ba yan? Or 0.25? Okay, thank you. Very good. Yan, ganyan. 0.25. Okay? Now, para makuha ang mean, di ba gumagamit tayo ng Greek symbol na mu? So, we just have to add yung mga product na nakuha natin dito. So, kung makuha natin yung product niyan, ay, yung sum niyan, ang ating mean of the probability distribution is 2.2. Paki-verify kung correct man ito. Okay. So, add nyo lang. So, multiply isa-isa, tapos add. Mean na yon. Okay? So, pag pinapahanap ang standard deviation, hindi ko na yung mean dito. 2.2. So, kailangan nyo munang gawin itong tatlo. Diba, I gave you the parang pinatipid ko yung isang time nyo dito. Kung ayaw nang isolve yung difference, pwede nyo nang ituloy na isubtract nyo, tapos square nyo na. Kasi kung iisa-isahin nyo to, di ba may mga magna-negative pa dyan? Natatandaan pa yung week 2? So, yung x mo, yung random variable x mo, subtract mo sa mu na 2.2. So, this is 0 minus 2.2, negative 2.2. Ba? So, isa-isa lang yan. Difference muna dito. Okay? Wait lang. So, 1 minus 2.2, this is negative 1.2. 2 minus 2.2, this is negative 0.2. 3 minus 2.2, this is 0.8. Medyo banking lang itong table natin dito ha, pero tapat-tapat na lang. Yan. Tapos 4 minus 2.2, you have this is 1.8, and 5 minus 2.2, this is 2.8. So, yan ang x minus mu na table. So, square nyo lang siya. Kung gumagamit kayo ng normal calculator or yung mga calculator sa phone nyo, kahit huwag nyo nalagay negative. Kasi ang mariread ng calculator sa phone is negative 2.2. Ito lang yung isi-square niya. I-retain niya pa rin yung negative. Okay? So, para maiwasan nyo yung confusion na yon, yung values na lang na nandito, yung isi-square nyo, no? So, 2.2 squared, or that is 2.2 multiplied by 2.2, you have 4.84. Okay. 1.2 multiplied by 1.2, you have 1.44. 0.2 multiplied by 0.2, you have 0.04. 0.8 multiplied by 0.8, this is 0.64, and 1.8 multiplied by 1.8, this is 3.24, and this is 7.84. Okay? Now, ang next step mo is to, etong table na to, yung mga values sa table na to, i-multiply mo siya dito sa column na to, sa P of X mo. So, kung basta't multiply ha, multiply. So, ilalagay dito yung product niya. So, yung product niya, no, hindi ko na siya isa-isahin na sasabihin ko multiply. So, susulat ko na lang siya. You can always check on your own. Okay? So, this is 0.484, 0.216, 0.016, 0.128, 0.324, and 0.392. Okay? So, para ma-solve ang standard deviation, you have to solve for the variance first. So, solving variance, no, summation nitong column na to. So, add nyo lang lahat yan. Ang variance natin dito sa problem nito is 1.560. Ito yung variance. Okay? Ang standard deviation natin, okay, square root lang nung variance. Okay? Square root daw ng 1.560. Ang standard deviation natin is 1.249. So, interpret nyo kung high ba siya or low ba siya. And then, sinabi ko na may explanation kung high ang standard deviation or low ang standard deviation. Okay? So, do you have any questions sa pag-solve ng ating variance hanggang standard deviation? Yes, Miss Monica, you raise your hand. I-round up to what? Pwedeng up to 3 decimal point. No? 3 to 4. Okay? Kasi may mga problem kayo masosolve niyan. Umaabot siya ng 6 digit. So, i-round up nyo siya up to 3 or 4. Okay? It's up to you. Okay? Kino-consider ko naman kung ano yung masosolve ninyo. Okay? Any more question? So if none, let's proceed. Okay. So, histogram. Okay. Itong histogram ang lagi kong inuulit sa inyo. Marami pa rin ang nagkakamali sa pag-graph or sa pag-draw ng histogram ninyo. Okay. Diba sabi ko, if may chances na um, mag-overlap sila, let's say for example, etong part na to, banking lang itong part na to, yun yung first histogram mo. Dumi. Hindi ko na. Bawa ito. Ito yung unang part mo ng histogram. Tapos di ba parang i-connect nyo to, etong part na to, doon sa kanyang x-axis. Hindi nyo na isi-shade ito Hindi nyo na siya gagawin ganyan. Kasi overlapping na tong part na to. So, ito na lang yung isi-shade ninyo. Okay? Kasi tas yung iba, ginawa nyo pang para siyang bar graph. Iba ang bar graph sa histogram, yun yung mga nakita kong common mistake ninyo na very particulate tayo doon ever since na week 1 and week 2 tayo. Okay? So, example 3. An appliance store sells a particular model of a washing machine. There are only 4 washing machines in stock, and the manager wonders what today's demand for this particular model will be. She learns from the marketing department that the probability distribution for X, the daily demand for the washing machine, is as shown in the table. Find the mean, variance, and standard deviation of X. Okay. So, ipahalang ba? I-vertical ninyo ito, i-rewrite ninyo siya. Kasi kailangan nyo i-solve yung mean, variance, and standard deviation. So, kailangan nyo pa rin gawin yung mga x minus mu, tsaka x minus mu squared na table, tsaka x minus mu squared multiplied by p of x. Yung tatlong additional na table. Ay, meron pa palang xp of x para sa mean. So, may karagdagan na 4 na column. Okay? So, kung i-rewrite nyo siya, x tsaka p of x. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. P of x is 0.1, 0.4, 0.2, 0.15, 0.1, and 0.05. So, xp of x muna, yung unang column na idadagdag nyo. So, product lang yan. So, this is 0.0. Okay. This is 0.40. This is 0.40 also. This is 0.45, 0.440, and 0.25. Okay. So, multiply Multiply nyo lang yan. Then, yung product ilalagay nyo dito sa column na to. Add all the product. Yun na yung mu natin. So, our mu here is 1.90. Okay? You can always confirm sa ating discussion kung tama ba yung mga values na isinusulat ko. Okay? So, x minus mu tayo. So, sabi ko you can always diretso na dun sa x minus mu squared. Pero kung gusto nyong makita yung mga differences at kung mag-iingat kayo sa values, di ilagay mo natin x minus mu bago tayo mag x minus mu squared. So, x minus mu, ganun lang siya x minus mu. So, 0 minus 1.90, that would be negative 1.90. 1 minus 1.90, that would be 0.9. Okay. 2 minus 1.90, that would be 0.10. Okay. So, be careful baka ito kasi ma-minus nyo yung p of x. Kaya dapat meron kayo laging heading sa inyong column para makita nyo kung anong variable ang sinusubtract ninyo. Okay? And continue lang natin yan sa 3, 4, 5, no? You can always continue this as a practice. Yung mga values natin dito sa 3, 4, 5, that would be 1.1, 2.1, and 3.1. Makapapansin nyo naman agad kung nasa tamang track kayo if yung mga values na parang nagkakaroon siya ng pattern. Okay? May pattern sa negatives, may pattern sa positives. So, kung parang feeling nyo nawawala na kayo dun sa pattern, dun sa column na sinusolve ninyo, try to resolve or mag-backtrack kayo kung saan kayo parang nawalan ng way doon sa pag-solve. Okay? So, isa-square lang natin ito. Kung anong makuha natin dito sa fourth column, square lang natin siya dito. Okay? Ang values nito is 3.61, 0.81, 0.01, 1.21, 4.41, and 9.61. Okay? Ingat lang dito ha sa negative. Kung inuulit ko to, kung gumagamit kayo ng calculator sa phone, wag nyo nang ilagay yung negative. Proceed na kayo dun sa value niya, dun sa absolute value niya. Okay? Then, dito, sa part na to, you have x minus mu squared, p of x. So, yung values mo sa fifth column, i-multiply mo siya doon sa values mo sa second column. Okay? So, fifth multiplied by second. So, di ko na isa-isahin yan. Sulat ko na lang yung values. You can always double check. Okay? This is 0.361, 0.324, 0.002, 0.182, 0.441, and 0.481. So, ito yung mga values mo sa ating sixth column. Now, in order to solve for the variance, since nasolve na naman natin yung mean, ito na yung first requirement natin, yung mean. Okay. Yung variance natin, okay, summation lang ng ating values na nasa sixth column. So, ang ating sum dyan is 1.791. 1.791. And ang standard deviation is the square root of your variance. Square root ng 1.791, ang makukuha natin is 1.338. So, pag nabigyan kayo ng dalawang column, alam ko activity 4 to, week 2, may dalawang column lang na binigay, tapos you have to provide the rest of the column, no? In order to solve for the variance, standard deviation, and mean. Okay? So, you can always interpret your standard deviation, high or low ba siya, and ano significance ng high and low standard deviation. So, yun yung example 3 natin for mean and variance. Okay? Do you have any question? Klaro ba? Hello? Ay, wala ako ng net. Yun. So, klaro ba ang example 3? Okay, sige. Thank you. So, last example na nandito rin sa ating learning activity sheet is that in a raffle conducted to benefit a local charity, 1,500 tickets are to be sold at 20 pesos. The cash prize is 10,000. If you purchase 3 tickets, what is your expected gain? Okay? So, hindi naman sinabi what is the mean, variance, and standard deviation. Okay? Always read the problem first before you plot your solution. So, here, no, ang hinahanap lang yung expected gain natin. Okay? So, pwede yung ma-realize na ang di ba, may kang 1,500 tickets. Ito ang available. May 1,500 tickets. Okay. Na binibenta per ticket is 20 pesos. Per ticket. Okay. And, yung cash prize, no, if mabunot man, ang ticket na nabili mo is 10,000 pesos. So, parang bumili ka ng isa, ang gain mo nun is 9,980. Diba? Given the chance na mapipili agad ang ticket mo. Okay? So, pero dito sa problem, sinabi, if you purchase 3 tickets, okay, what is now your expected gain? So, kung tabular method natin siya, you have your random variable x. You can always assign a variable. Okay? You have the liberty. This is your random variable x, and lagay din natin lagi yan, yung probability ng random variable natin to occur. Okay? Here, no, since 3 nga ang binili mo, 3 times 20, so nagbayad ka ng 60 pesos. So, first nating ilalagay na values dito sa random variable natin na column is negative 60. Bakit negative 60? Kasi siya yung nawala sa'yo. Yun yung pinambayad mo. Okay? And yung natitira is, syempre, susubtract natin yan. You have your 9,940. Bakit 9,940 na lang? Kasi given the chance nga na luckily, yung ticket mo ay mapili. Okay? So, bibigay sa'yo yung 10,000 pero naglabas ka ng 60 pesos. So, ang gain mo na lang nun is 9,940. You might be confused with the word gain. Kasi baka isipin nyo win. Yung ano yung expected win niya. Hindi siya ganun. Ang gain, pwedeng negative gain, pwedeng positive gain. It's up to you on how you interpret the problem or on how you understand the problem. Okay? So, ito yung unang value natin. You have negative 60 and you have 9,940. So, dalawa lang naman ang values natin ngayon. Okay? Wala nang iba. Okay? So, paano natin kaya lalagay ang probability nitong negative 60? To din hand, don't be confused with the negative 60. Ito ay representation lang na siya yung inalis mo from you. Binayad mo kasi siya eh. Ito siya oh. Ito. Binayad mo siya. Okay? So, ang probability ng ating 60 pesos or yung pinambayad natin is that you have 1,497 over 500. And yung difference nito, that is your 3,000, ay 3 over 1,500. Okay. So, in order to interpret this expected gain, you have to solve for the mean. Mean nung probability distribution natin. So, gagawa ka lang ng x, p of x dito na column. So, multiply mo yung negative 60 to the probability na 1,497 over 1,500 pala to. I'm sorry. It will give you a negative 59.88. And same goes din dito sa 9,940 na multiply natin sa 3 over 1,500, you have 19.88. So, di ba ang pag-solve ng mean pag probability ang given, add lang natin yan. Expect na parang magsusubtract siya kasi may negative. Okay? Ang masosolve natin dito is negative 40. So, ibig sabihin, your average or expected gain per raffle, if it is done repeatedly, okay, it would be a loss of 40 pesos. Di ko na siya ginawa negative 40. Ginawa ko siyang loss of 40 pesos. So, you might question, bakit mas mababa ang binigay nating value of probability doon sa 9,940 kesa dito sa ating loss na 60 pesos. No? Kasi, di ba, two option lang ang mapupunta sa'yo. It's either you lose 60 pesos kung sa unang raffle na hindi mabunot ang iyong ticket, or you win 9,940 kasi we are subtracting yung nilabas mo na 60 pesos. Okay? So, mas maliit ang chance nun. Kasi parang kontra sa tatlo lang binili mo, di ba? Ang kalaban mo is 1,497 tickets. Kaya mas maliit ang probability binigay natin doon sa win. Okay? So, ganito lang isolve ang ating example 4. Yes, Miss Monica, you raise your hand. Mm-hmm. Aha. Yes, yes. Oo. Yun yung ano, yun yung natira na doon sa 1,497. Oo. Kasi 'di ba sabi ko nga, mas maliit ang chances mo. Kasi tatlo lang yung binili mo compared dun sa remaining na 1,500 tickets. Kaya napunta yung mas maliit na probability doon sa win na 9,940. Okay, sige. Any more questions sa example 4? Kasi this will be your last example. Then I will now discuss yung activities sa ating last. And may klase pa kayo ng 2, tama? Okay, so kung hindi nyo pa nako-construct yung question nyo, PM lang kayo ha, o kaya mag-comment dun sa pag-uploadan kong platform sa YouTube natin, no? Okay. So, as usual, ito ang mga sasagutan natin. Activity 1, although tanong ko lang ulit sa mga printed, na-print ba ang last page ng ating week 3? Na-print ba? Meron ba kayong last page? Okay, meron. So, may mga sagot na yan, tama? May mga sagot na tong activity 1 and 2. So, yung activity 1, of course, if you provide solution, there would be a additional point, no? So, 1, 2, 3 lang yan. May multiple choice na kayo dyan. So, if you can provide, again, solution, no? Try to provide. Activity 3 and 4, of course, kailangan na ng solution dito. Okay? And always, bonus points natin ang reflection. May reflection ba to? Oo, meron, no? Dalawang question for reflection. Okay? So, how do we solve those activity 3 and 4? Yung ating problem solving. So, solve and interpret the problem below. The probabilities that a health inspector will discover violations of the public health code in a public places are shown below. So, random variable x, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and these are the probability that the random variable will occur. Okay? So, sabi, if there will be no violations daw, 40% ang chance na mangyari yon na walang violation sa ating public health code, no? And so on and so forth. So, meron kayong 5 questions dyan na you are required to answer. Okay? So, the probability, what is the probability that the health inspector will discover at least, diniscuss ko ng at least, and yung at most. Okay? So, hanapin nyo lang yung mga values dito sa table, then add lang. Then, yung sum doon, yun na yung answer sa A and B. Okay? Ito naman, what is the probability that the health inspector will discover at least 3 daw, but fewer than 5 violations of the public health code? So, How do we interpret that mathematically? You will have the probability of yung in between nung dalawang values na given. At least 3. So, equal siya, less than or equal to your random variable but less than to 5. Okay, sorry. X is greater than or equal to 3 but less than to 5. Ganun i-interpret itong letter C. Okay? May mga ganitong example sa week 2. Activity 1. Yung mga nasa in-between. Yo, balikan. Try nyo siyang balikan. Kung nasa inyo pa yung mga module nyo ng week 2. Okay? O, letter D daw. What is the mean of the probability distribution? O, create the 4 additional column. Okay? Gawin ko siya dito. Ayan. So, kailangan mo dito yung x, p of x. X minus mu. Siyempre, makakompute mo yung mu dito. Yun na yung mean. Letter D na yon. O, what does it imply daw? O, sinabi ko rin ang explanation ng mean. Okay? And you can back up your answer on the discussion provided on your learning activity sheet, yung mga introduction. Okay? So, summation nitong third column natin is the mean o yung sigma. Okay? Summation. Yung x minus mu, x sa x, etong column. So, this would be your first column minus your mu, etong nandito. Then, you do your x minus mu squared. Fourth column squared, no? Yung mga values dito, ilan ba to? 2, 4, 6. So, square nyo siya. Then, you have your x minus mu squared multiply your probability of your random variable x. So, yung nakuha nyo dun sa fourth column, so this is fifth column na pala. Yung mga values na nakuha nyo sa fifth column, i-multiply nyo siya sa second column. Okay? Isa-isa. Then, to solve for your variance, which is the required on your letter E, okay? Summation nitong sixth column. So, yung mga products dito, ipag-add-add nyo lang, yun na yung variance. And to solve for your standard deviation, square root of your variance. Okay? So, yung square root ng answer mo dito, yun na yung standard deviation. O, what do these measures mean? Ano daw ibig sabihin ng mga yan, di ba? Yung mga interpretation ng ating high SD and low SD. Okay? So, ganun i-solve ang ating activity 3, no? So, medyo challenging, di ba? Maraming ginagawa. Pero, kung maingat lang, hindi naman magkakamali yan along the way. Okay? And, I can always give an extension since matrabaho itong week 3. Especially this problem, activity 4. You are given 12 data, no? From 0 to 11, and frequency ang binigay. Okay? Ang pinapagawa is construct the probability distribution of the random variable x, expected number of bicycles that will be sold at a given day. This would be your mean. What is the standard deviation? Kailangan din gumawa ng mga 4 additional columns and histogram. This is your so for required dito sa problem or activity 4 natin, pero matabaho siya kasi kung meron kang x and may frequency ka, una mong gagawin is the product ng frequency at ng inyong random variable x. So 0 to 11 yan. And given na yung frequency from 20 to 2. So multiply nyo isa-isa yan, yun yung ilalagay nyo sa third column natin. Okay? Fourth column, x minus x bar. Yung x bar, masosolve yan yung summation na f of x divided by n. Yung n, eto na 500. Okay? This is your fourth column, and your fifth column would be your x minus x bar squared. O, may 5 negatives dyan, at tapos 7 na yung positive. So, yung first 5, expect a negative difference dito. So, x x minus x bar. Okay? And, square mo lang siya, yun na yung fifth column mo. Your sixth column would be your frequency multiplied by your x minus x bar squared. So, yung mga values mo dito sa fifth column, multiply mo siya sa second column. So, fifth multiplied by second. So, ang variance, hindi na siya simply summation. So, ang variance natin dito is f summation ng frequency x minus x bar squared, yung mga value, yung pag-add mo lang mga values dito sa ating 6th column, you divide that with your n. Ang standard deviation now is the square root of your variance. Then, you do your histogram. So, ganun ang atake sa activity 4, no? Hindi ko naman mababawasan yan kasi hindi ako yung nagsulat ng learning activity sheet. Okay? Okay. May question ba sa pag-solve ng activity 3 and 4? Hello? Klaro? Klaro naman. Mag-gets ba yung yung process? Okay. So, okay, para hindi na kayo malate sa next class nyo, kindly open now your camera.